Hello. Howdy. What's happening? What it do? This is the Chillmeister J. Christian Gary, aka one half of the duo that runs this place. And while I can't speak for my partner in crime, Eric McLemore, aka Lucky the E7 or Lucky 7, I can say this. First off, I apologize that this show wasn't put up any sooner. These matches were made as early as March, commentary done in May when our actual 3-year anniversary happened, and if you can't tell by now, it's July. By the way, happy 713 day. As I'm struggling with my fingers here. But, however, due to a massive issues on my end, mainly because of me being a lazy fuck, and yes, I can say that because aside from my relatives over the age of 18, I do hang around with them, but yeah, I'm an adult. I don't do kid-friendly role unless it's with my family members, but like I said last time I did one of these damn videos, I don't fucking care about YouTube's algorithm systems. But yeah, anyways, aside from the massive issues, that's the reason why this show is up now. We hope to be more frequent as the matches go along in the weeks, months, and now years ahead. Also, while we're happy that these matches are getting views, our highest viewed matches are in the women's hardcore division, because you can't say we hope more y'all can help us out. We are an open door policy league. Y'all come in, have your call shown, help us out on commentary, help us out with editing, production, all that shit. Don't be shy. Give us a shout out. We'll be happy for the help. We'll be happy to help you back. And while you're at it, help us get these damn views up. Share this shit to the masses. So on and so forth. In due time, we'll do our damnedest to give back to y'all, just as the same way y'all give back to us. And in closing, I don't want to run on too long, so I'll just say this. But when I started this league back in 2020 after my issues with Virtual Wrestling United and the CAW Champions League, and I wished them well on that, but I didn't want to set myself out to be, the best CAW league owner out there, or the biggest virtual wrestling league in the world, or, all that shit. Nothing like that, I just wanted to start with a little help from my friends, a league that's free from divisiveness, politics, outright disrespect, a league free of the bullshit. And if we can continue to do that while helping y'all out, if myself and Lucky 7th and everybody else working in this league can do that and help some folks out and vice versa, then we're sure this is a league that you won't claim as the best or you won't claim as the biggest, but we're sure it's a league you're gonna enjoy. And with that, I say thanks for watching, and I hope y'all enjoy the matches. Gentlemen, first of all, what's good, y'all? It's the Chillmeister Chris Gary and Hector Diaz, and I'm just happy that we made it to 3 years here at Blacklist CAW.
We've had so many great matches here on Blacklist CAW. It's hard to say, which match is the best match in history, in the short history of Blacklist CAW?
I don't know. You tell me. We're about to have 3 matches for y'all to enjoy, starting right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 1 hour and 10-minute time limit. Introducers first at 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in 140 pounds, hailing from Brooklyn, New York. He's 1'9" and like
there's a lot of lighter athletes that come around 5'10", but still though, none as lighter as Marcus Nicmeri, who unfortunately has to deal with his dad at every turn.
He's 1-9. His record is 1-0 when his dad's not forcing him to.
Wait a minute. I don't know if he does come up to this music, but hold on a second.
Yes, and of course he's coming out to one of his original themes, which makes sense because we're in Houston. I mean, I didn't know that he was a big Paul Wall fan. I bet he's got a few diamonds in his grill right now. Yes, unfortunately. I mean, you have to travel all the way down to the Galleria in order to see those, but yeah, people still do wear grills. Yeah, those are from the 2000s, but as long as you got people like Johnny Dang supplying them to you, they never go out of style. But still though, enough chit chat as we see the black and gold clad Biff Andreas getting himself into battle mode for his Blacklist CAW debut. Nicmeri in the icy blue hyping himself up. Referee Colonel Lambo signals for the bell, and away we go. But still though, as I mentioned in the intro, Marcus the Arctic Owl Nicmeri may be 1-9 here in Blacklist CAW, but he's 1-0 when not forced by his dad to compete because he can be resilient when he can and dangerous when proven in tough situations, as that net breaker just shown you. Yeah, but the point of the matter is, nice series of kicks by Nicmeri, but he's only at 140, not because of choice, but because his father forces him to starve when he doesn't do his bidding. I don't know why, don't ask me. You can tell Jimmy Nicmeri I said that. So you're saying Biff's normally the smaller guy in matches, is that it?
It's very uncommon to see that Biff Andreas is a much larger opponent in a lot of matches, but his one net breaker.
Yeah, as inverted of net breakers as can be, but still though. You look at Nicmeri and you see the fact that yeah, he's 5'10", 140 and has a hell of a lot of room to grow. But with 10 matches in this league, going 1-9, I mean, it couldn't mean the end, but it can damn sure be a good beginning. Oh! Another neck breaker, well, back breaker, I guess, by Nicmeri as he's perched on the top rope. Nice diving foot stomp by the Arctic Owl. See, even Jimmy can be appreciative of that. Only gets 2 though.
That's the one advantage that Marcus Nicmeri has. He has tremendous high flying ability. I mean, he has to because he's not going to square up against someone much larger than him to
Saito suplex by Andreas. Inverted DDT by Nicmeri. But still, though, I get what you mean. Nicmeri isn't, the sharpest knife in the drawer when it comes down to intimidation tactics. Nice kick, but what he makes up for in lack of intimidation, he makes up for in skill, not size, even though he is 5'10", 140, and has to live under his dad's shadow. A lot. Trust and believe me, Hector, you wouldn't believe how many times he comes to my office with that bullshit.
That's an unfortunate situation for Marcus Nicmeri. We need a better punch from Biff Andreas.
Well, he is using a closed fist, even though those would be illegal in normal professional wrestling standards. But he's working his punches, though.
One thing is, how often does that rule get enforced?
I don't know. Nice monkey flip off the corner, though, and I think Biff Andreas is setting up for the end here. Jimmy Nicmeri was here. He'd be telling Marcus, "Don't get up." Exactly, and I think the Arctic Owl is about to fly away. Nope! 2 count over. But how often do the rules get enforced here? Not that much. I don't think we see a disqualification finish here in the 3 years that's been done here in Blacklist CAW. Oh! Wave of the future driver, this is it. And it is. Biff Andreas really shown that veteran instinct in this match. Tough luck for Nicmeri. He takes another L on the dossier, so to speak, but still, though, he can always hold his head up high knowing that he's been in there with a CAW legend. They say it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of fighting the dog, but I guess Nicmeri will have to learn that another day. Now, what do you see here? And with Andreas getting the win here, Marcus Nicmeri, now 1-10, is going to have to find new ways to annoy me and his dad. Well, that was a fun match that we've seen, and considering the fact that this is a very special show, yes, I said show, we got 2 more matches to whet your appetite off of, so stay tuned, we got more action coming for you after the break.
If your transmission's got you down or your motor falls apart, that's the time to come to Thunderbolt. You don't need a brand new car. We still believe in value and we pass it on to you. At Thunderbolt we fix it right and we guarantee it too.
Thunderbolt is better, faster, and cheaper than car dealers. You can get 0% financing, extended warranties, free inspections, and free towing if needed.
We put the yee-haw back in your motor and transmission. It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Young mom helped with after-school care, and a widow makes friends at the place where a teenager finds help for school and a job. Members like you support them all. They're getting help from the
Many creators put many hours into their cause in hopes of attaining glory. However, things do tend to go wrong. Broken AIs, delayed ref counts, losing a match. All of these can lead to drama, which can spread faster than a corrupt ref's 3 count. But no matter what type of E-Fed you're in, no matter what the result is, always remember, it's just a video game.
And ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the action on this 3rd anniversary special. Dean Davis versus J.C. Wolfe. J.C. Wolfe, X-rated, the past, present, and future of CAW. He's basically in tune-up mode right now because he wants an opportunity to face Connor James. You really like the fact that he's rocking Oakland Raiders gear, huh?
Exactly. I mean, didn't the Raiders move to Las Vegas?
Yes. Yes, of course. I mean, he's pretty much been everywhere and done everything. And I think I kind of messed up his weight a little bit. He's not 115 kilos in metric system speak. He's actually 108.8 kilos if you add 240 pounds up. But still though, J.C. Wolfe is one of the most decorated competitors in virtual wrestling. And you have to think, why would he want to take a tune-up match? Because he wants to face off against Connor James down the line, facing cream puff opponents. Well, I wouldn't say it's easy to record pad, but still though, he's just trying to find easier competition to show the rest of the Blacklist CAW heavyweight division that, hey, I'm here, I'm willing to fight, I'm willing to take on all comers, And since I beat the heart and soul of Blacklist CAW and Nicmeri, I am looking for my opportunity right now.
He's tremendously talented, but he definitely still wants to take the easy way out and still wants to have the absolute resistance in a lot of his times in CAW.
Yes, of course we know that JC Wolfe's gonna take the path of least resistance because unlike Dean Davis, who's fighting like he's worth a damn, he doesn't want to be seen as less than himself. He just did the damn deal, baby, with that Falcon Arrow. Albeit JC doesn't know who or what the Freestyle Kings are, so he probably wouldn't get that reference. Still, as we see Dean Davis trying to fight back, we know that JC Wolfe's a very decorated competitor who's held gold everywhere he's been and just about done everything he can. Covered by Dean Davis, as the referee gets into position, only gets one. But still, JC only chooses the path that benefits him because he knows it'll benefit his modus operandi, not anyone else. I'm just saying, as we see JC fight back on his own and taunt the fans just a little bit. He probably got some people coming all the way out from Cardiff just to see him. Wonder if they're gonna take Bush Intercontinental after that fight. Nice poison Rana out of that nice little trickery. JC Wolfe is just simply punishing Dean Davis like he owes him money. Or like he basically bashed his favorite soccer team. Oh, nice punch to the mush. And he just stomped his arm like a Texas cockroach, making him prone and stiff. Covered by Wolfe, only gets one.
If that's the hell of all the action was, you know what he would be referring to it.
Let me go ahead and take a wild guess. He would basically call Mercedes the Butch and JC Wolfe the bitch. Right? Nice elbow drop, by the way. Yeah, he's really changed his style up. He used to be more technical, now he does all types of moves. Nice drop kick by JC Wolfe, and off the springboard, nice moonsault for good measure. And I think, a nice Jordan Fish drop. I think this one might seal the deal for JC Wolfe.
I'm surprised he doesn't pull off that move because that's not really his style. He's more of a ground and pound, taking the opponent out and punching the death.
And I mean, this isn't to disparage Dean Davis by the slightest. Yeah, he loves to lose. But the dude is actually a pretty decent person out of the ring. I mean, if he wasn't, why would he be jobbing?
Why is his social media profile called I Love to Lose?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe all that standing JC trigger knee, it makes it pretty fucking obvious, don't you think? Cover by JC Wolfe, and I guess you know the answer why.
Time of the match, 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Your winner of this contest, the past, present, and future of CAW/virtual wrestling, X-Ray, check.
I'm surprised it lasted this long, if I'm being honest, but credit them for putting some offense against JC Wolfe.
Yeah, I do give him credit because he's basically telling the entire Blacklist CAW heavyweight division, including the man he already beat in Nicmeri, and the man he wants to eventually face in Connor James, hey, I'm here, I want to challenge for the world title, and I'm not gonna waste too much time beating up Supreme Cup opponents just to get my shot.
His opportunity to Thomas Sampson late last year on the Ultimate World Title that he did right there in the highlights.
And that's what pretty much sealed the deal for JC Wolfe. With a 1, 2, 3, Dean Davis takes another L. But yeah, we got one more match for y'all to enjoy on this special anniversary show. We hope y'all stick around with us.
We put you first in all that we do. That mankind feeling, we give it to you. Service selection, a price that's right. It's part of the feeling. Ask mankind, we'll work hand in hand to get you the best deal. Get that mankind feeling behind the wheel. You can take the feeling that brings mankind feeling.
No parking. Spots reserved for HEB deliveries only. There's a sign. Not for Pena. No parking. There's a sign. Parking. Spots reserved for HEB deliveries only.
Park is somewhere safe, kid.
Jeremy. What do you think?
Oh man, I love it.
You've earned it, kid.
Wow. Thank you.
Just don't tell Tuve.
I got you.
Let's go order some brisket queso.
Nah.
Yeah, right, Rico. What on earth have I been doing here?
We haven't left Nanachi's hideout in weeks. Relax, Rico. We can go to the Abyss on high dive.
Really? Nanachi, are you sure?
What's high dive? It's the way to watch Made in Abyss and Orth. Wow! No way! That's great! The world of high dive is really cool!
So let's dive into high dive. Are you guys ready?
Can't wait. High dive. It's better than outside.
Many creators put in many hours of hard work into their creations, from minor details to overall presentation. However, there are those who will steal other people's work and claim it as their own. Actions like these are never tolerated within this community, and the consequences are real. So please, don't steal other people's hard work.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, but more specifically Hector Diaz, it's been a fun showcase so far.
Absolutely, I mean, we had two great matches to call, but this one.
Well, all I can say is, let's cut the jibber jabber fool! Evan O'Shea, who is not making his Blacklist CAW debut, as I will fuck up in this intro, will be facing off against Big Bubba Jenkins, who is beating down every block. Let's get to know more about him.
It's scheduled for 1 more official time limit. Introducing first, at 6 feet 2 inches, 202 pounds, beating down the block like a big house, shooting from the 512, Austin, Texas, despite being overturned by the CAW competition. This is the
why is it calling himself Big Bubba Jenkins when he's barely 6'2", 200 pounds?
Dude, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. If you know, you know. If not, ask somebody.
That's what I'm asking him, you know. I'm asking you.
making his Blacklist CAW debut at 5 feet 9 inches tall. Never 225 pounds, hailing from Concord, California. He is a future CAW icon and wrestling's hottest commodity. This is
Well, the phrase "no es una mierdra Sherlock" comes to mind because, yeah, Evan O'Shea has done a hell of a lot in CAW/virtual wrestling and back again. But let's be reminded of the fact that he's currently 2-1 in Blacklist CAW competition. Yeah, that one loss was Zulite the Great, but having him in this league is a win for us in our own right, I guess, and just as prestigious for him in this case. For some odd reason, Evan O'Shea is not taking off his top. I don't blame him. DDT by Evan O'Shea. Well, it's like I said in the intro, he's 6'2", 202, or in metric system terms, 190 centimeters, 91.6 kilos. Yeah, he would be an NFL cornerback, but he does go hard in all the things that he does, hence why he's called Big Bubba. Yeah, I guess you can say when it comes down to Big Bubba Jenkins, his size is similar of that to a Bridger weight in boxing. Damn WBC. An average 2-guard in basketball, as we see a cover by Evan O'Shea, only gets 2 at 99%. Or, obviously, a small running back. And oh, nice Hurricane Rana. Going down like a big boss should. A big horse, actually. Nice chop to the chest. Big Bubba Jenkins is holding his own out there. But would you say that Jenkins is similar in size, build, and reach to Jamari Mito? Because you might find something familiar about him that I don't get.
No, Jamari Mito's stronger than Big Bubba Jenkins. Because Jamari Mito is 25 pounds heavier than Big Bubba Jenkins.
I mean, that's completely understandable considering the fact that, oh, nice spin kick by Evan O'Shea. But still, though, it's completely understandable. Mito is, you know, the heavier. I mean, he did play semi-pro ball with the Simulation Football League. Still, though, he did spend a lot of time playing ball, so he built up on that weight as Curly Rambo. He's basically taking his sweet time knowing that he doesn't get paid to fuck around. I mean, do you know how hard it is to pay referees these days?
I don't know, man. That's on you.
Yeah, don't I know it. I mean, in this economy, in this day and age, things like referee pay become a huge necessity in just about every other sport, especially this one. And here comes, oh, Big Bubba Jenkins with a drop kick out of the corner. And now, Bubba Jenkins contemplating his next move. He's trying to go for a sharpshooter, instead puts a knee to Evan O'Shea's back. And now Evan O'Shea brushes Big Bubba Jenkins off. And now Big Bubba trying to go for a comeback. Oh, he just got tossed into those steel cables disguised as black ropes with all that electrical tape. It's still dangerous to even get thrown into them, let alone bounce off of them. Now, here comes Big Bubba with a pile driver. There's a reason why that particular move is banned in most professional wrestling promotions. Covered by Big Bubba gets 2 at 99%.
I would say Big Bubba Jenkins would live up to his namesake if he would have had at least 25 pounds, maybe 50.
50, he would look like a dead Avelina, so to speak.
At least he would look like a linebacker.
True. Oh, I think playtime's over here.
Oh, goddamn. That's gotta be it. Cover 1, 2, and that's the 3 count, amigo.
Your winner of this contest is his Blacklist CAW debut. Wrestling hottest commodity and
First off, just want to clarify, Evan O'Shea's Blacklist CAW record is now 3-1. He wants the opportunity to face off against Zulite the Great again. but a nice little opportunity for the world title would be on his horizon if he keeps winning. Secondly, Hector Diaz, it's been fun doing this with you. Hopefully we can make more memories in Blacklist CAW as time marches on.
Absolutely, amigo. It's been a good show, and everyone that participated definitely brought their A game for this one.
But yes, that's gonna do it for us for now. Hector Diaz, I'm Chris Gary saying peace, my peoples in one love world, and until the next time we see you, we'll talk to y'all later. Deuces. Como siempre.
Adios.